Hi, my name is L'Oreal and I'm from healthyrootshappysoul.com, and I want to let you know why I don't like Monsanto. Right now there's a video revolt going on across the web, and I thought that I would participate in it because I can't stand Monsanto. Why do I not like Monsanto? Well, for one, let me just point it out, I'm not a scientist. I'm just a mom, and I'm a real food blogger, and I do my very best to make sure that my family doesn't eat Monsanto food, Frankenfood. Um, but why do I not like Monsanto? Well, first of all, they've got a bad track history. They're the same company that created DDT and PCBs and Agent Orange, and people are still suffering from the residual effects of it. And I don't like them because they are creating food for us to eat. Why would a company who creates pesticides and chemicals that do serious damage create our food? If you can even call it that. I mean, food to me means planting a seed, of course, that has not been patented or genetically modified, but planting an heirloom seed in your backyard, in your garden, with your own two hands, in your dirt, and growing it and harvesting an amazing tasting vegetable or fruit. In Monsanto terms, food is just something that you create and manipulate in a lab. And personally, I don't want that at all. I don't think that's food. I don't think it's natural. Um, I also don't like Monsanto because they put people out of business. Small family farmers, they work really hard to make a living, and let's face it, if we don't have farmers, we don't have food. And Monsanto, because of the way that the laws are, because of course Monsanto is in bed with our government, so anything that Monsanto says goes, which is pretty ridiculous. But, a lot of ways that they hurt family farmers is they sue them. And, well, why do they sue them? Well, because let's just, for example, take field A and field B. Well, field A is an organic field, let's say, of whatever. And then you've got field B, which is a Monsanto field. It's got GMO corn, GMO soybeans, whatever it is. Well, because of a natural process called pollination, if field A is downwind from field B, well, then field B is going to take their Monsanto seeds and pollinate with the organic seeds. So Monsanto, knowing this, will go to field A's farmer and say, you are infringing on the patent rights, we're going to sue you. Well, okay, small family farmers don't have a lot of money, so what do? They can't sue Monsanto because, again, like I said, they are in bed with our government, so whatever they say goes, and they lose a lot of money. Even if they try to sue them, you know, it's a lost cause. I mean, there have been some victories, but not very many. So a lot of family farmers get put out of business from that, and that to me is just messed up. Um, why don't I like Monsanto? Another reason I don't like Monsanto is because they are trying to control our food supply. So pretty much they patent seeds and say, okay, well, if you want to buy this seed, you can buy it, but guess what? Next year you're going to have to buy it again, and then the year after that you're going to have to buy it, and the year after that you're going to have to buy it, and you will always have to buy the seeds. Well, normally when a farmer buys seeds, they get to reuse their seeds over and over again, and that doesn't happen with Monsanto. If you try and reuse the seeds, they will sue you, and you will go out of business. So that's pretty messed up. Um, they they've got this huge ordeal propaganda thing that they, want to feed the world with their GMOs. Bull crap. There's enough food to feed the world, okay? I mean, in the United States alone, we waste so much freaking food that it could feed the hungry people, all right? People are still hungry, and, the lack of food is not it. Why don't we take corporate control businesses like Monsanto out of the picture, well, then guess what? The community has an opportunity to do business and make money, and then the community builds, and guess what? Then you don't have hungry people. Um, that feed the world crap is, let's use common sense, people. Okay, let's learn to think for ourselves, because all they're doing is spieling this, whatever, you know, public relations bullcrap, but it's nothing they say is true. There's studies that they do. Studies. First of all, there have been no long term studies of the effects of GMOs. You would think that, they would do it, but again, they're in bed with our government and the FDA and all that kind of crap. So all their studies are misconfigured and, changed to a way that benefits them. And sometimes the they don't even have to go through any rigmarole. They just get things approved just because of what they say. Our government doesn't do any kind of independent studies of the GMOs. They just rely on Monsanto studies. Well, isn't that a conflict of interest? Shouldn't our government be more concerned about our food supply? Well, not when you're in bed with Monsanto. Um, there's just so many reasons to not like Monsanto. You know, the bees are dying, the butterflies are dying. Let's use common sense. The reason they're dying is because of this crap that's all over the place. I mean, come on. Do we really need scientific evidence to say, "Oh, this stuff is okay?" No, I mean, if you eat it and if every living cell of food is toxic, I mean, what are you gonna expect? Come on. I mean, it's simple as, if this apple has pesticides on it and this apple is organic, which one's gonna be better? The organic one, obviously. Um, it's just really crappy. Monsanto's got a lot of control over everything and a lot of power. Um, do I believe that we can change things? Yes, I do believe that we can change things. But more people need to wake up. More people need to start thinking for themselves and question things. Where does my food come from? Who grew it? What's on it? What's in it? Things like things like that, we really need to ask, and we need to teach our children to ask those questions. We need to teach our relatives. I mean, there's been many times where people think I'm crazy about what I'm talking about, but we need to we need to make a difference, and the people can make a difference, because guess what? The people spend the money. The money is the root of all evil, especially with Monsanto. If people say, I'm not buying that, I'm not buying Monsanto Frankenfood, then they're not gonna make any money, and they're gonna have to change. But we need to do it soon, because genetically modified organisms, they're unstoppable. I mean, for example, take the wheat in Oregon that randomly showed up. They did field trials and it never got approved, and then like less than 10 years later, it just randomly shows up in a field in Oregon. I mean, hello, wake up call. I mean, we need to act soon, and we need to inspire people to make better choices. We need to inspire people to stand up for what they believe in, and we need to inspire people to start thinking for themselves. I hope this inspires you to do some research. Don't just read one thing and believe it. I mean, do your research. Read the independent studies. Read the opposition if you have to, but don't just go off of what somebody else says. I mean, you got to do your research, and it's important, because what kind of world do we want to leave for our children? Even if you don't have kids, or you have no intentions of having kids, I'm sure you know somebody that has a kid that's dear to your heart. So, what kind of world do we want to leave to them? Something that's fake and plastic, pretty much. The food isn't normal, isn't grown from the ground with no kind of additives or anything. No. We want them to grow up in a place where food tastes good and food does not kill. Food shouldn't kill. Food heals. Food shouldn't kill. Do your research, inspire people, and don't stop fighting. Thanks.